Okay, so I wanted to do a brief demonstration on a new paper that a member in another alcohol ink painting group had posted. Now, this lady had created a painting, and on this it's called Tomoe River Paper. And it was a very beautiful painting, and it piqued my curiosity, and I thought I'm always willing to try new substrates. So I went ahead and ordered me some from Amazon. And for the 100 sheets, it was just over $14 with Prime shipping. Now, I did get it in the mail, and I went right ahead and opened it up, was ready to paint. So I just wanted to show you real quick. I was going to do a demonstration and show you the comparison between it and photo paper. So this is the pack right here, and it's a Japanese paper. Now I have one out handy. Now, it's not an 8.5 by 11 size. It is a little bit larger. Now, the person did mention it's a very thin paper, and I do believe I read somewhere that is actually half the thickness of regular computer paper. And so I do have just the regular old computer paper, and you can, it's very thin and flimsy. You can hear it, how loose it is. And this is just your basic computer paper. And by feeling them, it's definitely half the thickness of it. Now, the painting I created, actually it was not a painting. I didn't like it. I personally did not like the way the inks moved on it. But I wanted to show you what it was going to be like compared to Yupo also. Now, this is just a scrap piece of Yupo. So what I'm going to do is I have a little cup with my homemade blending solution. And I'm just going to dip my brush into it to wet my brush up. But actually, you don't even have to do that if you don't want to. This isn't a clean brush, but it's just a brief demonstration. So I want to show you. I've got some lettuce here. Now I'm going to put my Yupo in view. Let me make sure. Okay, so my Yupo's in view of the camera. So here's my Yupo, and this is the Tomoe River Paper. So I'm going to drop a little onto the Yupo, and then I'm going to drop a little onto the Tomoe. Now, when you first see it, it does spread. It does sit on top of the paper for a second, and it does allow you to move it. But if you notice, it quickly gets absorbed into the paper. See, I can't move it in that much anymore, and that might actually be what's on my brush. Yeah, you can't really move it. And over here on the Yupo, you can still move it and shift it. Now I'm going to clean my brush off a little bit. Dip it in some alcohol. Okay, so I have some alcohol on my brush, and I'm going to show you what on the Yupo, you know, it reactivates the ink, and I can continue shifting it. Now watch what happens on the Tomoe. It absorbed it. It's a porous surface. So yes, that it does absorb the paper. And for that effect alone, this is why I don't like it. I like to be able to continue to shift my inks around. Now watch what's going to happen when we introduce another color. I have watermelon now, and I'm just going to do a drop of watermelon over there. And on the Yupo, of course, you can shift and move things around. But if I drop the watermelon onto that, I'm only able to move my watermelon around. It doesn't reactivate. Now it'll blend underneath the paper, and it'll darken the watermelon up, but that's all it does on there. So I think if you're doing more, for me personally, if I was working strictly with alcohol markers, or, you know, like a drawn on surface where I didn't need the ink to spread and I was just going to paint it on like this, I think the paper would work perfect for it. Because it'll stay more in place as opposed to on the Yupo. But again, this person did create a beautiful abstract scenery landscape, and I'm sure, I'm sorry, I was losing my train of thought. I am sure that this is perfect for the markers. I don't have my markers handy right now, but like I said, my personal preference, if I'm going to be painting with the doing my where I want my inks to flow, I'm going to use my Yupo. But I do have this paper I bought. I'm going to keep it. I'll find another purpose for it. Again, order it. They do sell it in sample packs. I think the company is offering sample packs right now for $3. So give it a try. I mean, for those that use more of the markers, this would be perfect for it. Now, another negative thing about it being it is so thin, there are creases in it. It was a brand new pack. It was packed perfect. It didn't come bent in my package, but when you open the sheet, you will see creases and stuff. I don't know if you'll be able, the camera's going to pick them up, but it is, because it is so thin, when I pulled out a few sheets, they did have creases all over them. So that's just a quick demonstration to show you the difference between the Tomoe River and the Yupo. I decided to talk a little bit more about the Tomoe paper. Now, that person had mentioned that they use their canned air with it and not painted it on with a brush, and that's how they achieve the beautiful landscape abstract. Now, I just wanted to do a quick demonstration with that to show you. So I went ahead and got my canned air. Now, I will say I do like the way the ink blows on this paper. The ink does move further on the Yupo. However, you can get more of an achieved look with the Tomoe. I do like that. So, let's see, try a little bit of the yellow. Yeah, I do like the way the paper it blows on the paper. And then when you layer them like that, the colors right away, they do tend to combine, and I like that effect as well. Where on the Yupo, of course, it always reactivates and it'll shift the one you've already done. Now, one other negative thing that I don't want, not negative, but another comparison is the Tomoe will, as it's drying, it's completely matte. And on the Yupo, when it dries, you still do have a little bit of sheen look to it. I'll show you if I can lift that up. That area is still a little wet. But this section over here is dry. And you can see it's all completely matte finish, or a dull finish. And this was the one we did earlier, and it still has a sheen to it.